Listen, I would have had this up sooner, but the way my anxiety was set up about my last record, I was like, start over, start fresh, get it up Friday. At least try to have it up by Friday evening. Means record, edit, and upload. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Ray, Wife Style Coach. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode number 12, third week's The Charm. Third week's, that means 21 days, okay? They were trying to three's a charm. You got it, right? Listen, if it's your first time visiting my channel, I go couple by couple, not scene by scene. It works better for me and for you. I feel like I can give you more of a comprehensive look. In addition, you should be clicking the subscribe button to be part of my family, be a ray of sunshine, and that notification bell that says all, that's the one you want to click, not personalized, all, because you want to see everything that I'm doing. Yeah? All right. So let's just go ahead and get started with the lovely Eric and Virginia. First off, girl, don't be giving everybody your password. I mean, all 12 million viewers of Married at First Sight now know that your password for everything is Rocky. I mean, they're going to start doing Rocky 123, Rocky 111, Rocky $1, everything, because now they know how to get to you. And Eric was looking at you like, did you really just say that? And now you want to share passwords, bank accounts and whatnot? Social medias and stuff. Well, you know, you can look at my phone anytime. I don't have anything to hide. I only talk to my guy friends if you have a problem. That's, of course, Virginia, right? And Virginia's like, excuse me, Eric's all, you could just talk to them two people the two men that I met, them is the friends you can talk to. Everybody else, it's a no. Not on social media. Don't be liking no posts. Don't be talking to nobody in the DMs because they're your friends. You know what I'm saying? Only them two. I trust them. I know them. Is that fair? Don't go liking nobody's post that was your ex. That's not fair. Is it not fair? I mean, Eric's insecurities are showing. He don't want you to text or talk to anybody except for those that he approve of. He thinks that you cannot be friends with your ex. I mean, y'all let me know down below in the comments. Can you be friends with your ex? I want to know. I think that I'm not friends with, well, no, I'm a lie. That's a lie. I am friendly with a few people that I used to date. They aren't necessarily exes, but they're people I used to date. And what I understand as an adult, a grown-ass person, is that we have to do conscious uncoupling, which means talk about in a healthy way, in an amicable way, that we don't work. And these are the reasons why we work. And we can transition our relationship into something else, such as a friendship. Most relationships that cannot continue as friends are normally the ones that are toxic, or the ones that still want something from the relationship. I still want to fuck. I still, you know what I'm saying? I still see you. I want you back. Those are the ones that don't work. And he tells her, it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust everybody else. Well, I'm the person that you're supposed to trust, not everybody else. Now, I shouldn't be putting myself in situations that are harmful, but you should be trusting me that I value our marriage. Let me make the decision on my own, because the moment I mess up, or the moment that you feel like you can no longer trust me, is probably the moment I no longer want to be here. Well, let's keep going. So we get a visit from Dr. Viviana. Y'all listen, I love me some Dr. Viviana. I'm gonna just get that out the way. I think that she is chic. I think that she is well-spoken. I like the majority of the things that she says. I agree with. I think she's well dressed. Listen, I think she's got good sense, and I think she calls people to the carpet. That's how I feel. Y'all can disagree, but you know where to do it, in the comments. So when they start talking, the one thing I know is that they overtalk one another, because, you know, oh, they're both excited and they're extroverts. Eric, is you an extrovert? And they're extroverts, and our love language is physical touch, so that's why it's the boom that most people notice. I ain't noticed it, but maybe y'all have, because of the sexual energy and chemistry that we have. But they're constantly talking over one another, that it has now actually folded over into the conversation with Viviana as she's asking questions. You know, Virginia feels like she has to continue to talk. She's not letting her get a word in edgewise. That's how I saw it. Even though it was very little, it was enough for me to catch it, to say she is trying to explain what she's saying and not allowing this woman to ask the questions that are going to be helpful for this train wreck of a marriage that they are in. That she said, so what are some topics you want to discuss? So Eric talks about their political views and how different they are, their social duels and how views and how different they are. And I'm thinking to myself, so you don't want to talk about y'all don't want to talk about her drinking issue. Y'all don't want to talk about his controlling and insecure issues. Y'all don't want to talk about how maybe immature she is and she's still stuck in the sorority life and college life. Y'all don't want to talk about that. But maybe these political views are something to have a conversation about. What we can tell is that he's very conservative, very right-wing, and she's more liberal, more progressive, you know, more all-inclusive. I get a feeling that Eric was possibly a Trump supporter. And if you're a Trump supporter or were one, listen, don't mean no harm by it, but listen, I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with anything that he said. But, or most of the far right-wing people, what they say. Eric goes on to say, you know what, I accept our social view and political differences. She does not. And she's having a hard time doing that, probably because, you know, it just seems wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you're a liberal, when you're progressive, anything the conservative says is wrong because they aren't inclusive. They probably don't believe in same-sex marriage or a woman's right to abortion or Black Lives Matter or LGBTQIA plus community, right? They probably don't, and so she's probably very annoyed and probably sees and says to herself, I cannot be with someone who's like this. What's up with that? But as they're talking, Viviana says, do you think that it's going to be an issue in your when you have children and determining whose views you're going to follow, right? This is when he says she's 50-50 on children, and if she doesn't want to have children, then I'm out. He wants it his way or the highway, period. You can't have no friends. I need you to call me. You need to have these kids. If you don't follow these sets of rules, then we can't work out. And is that fair? My 3 C's, one of the letter C is for compromise. Because what it sounds like is that she's unsure when she says 50-50. And how do you reassure her? We talk about that in just a few seconds. But for him to just be like, she's out, I don't think that that's fair. I also, though, on the flip side, don't think that it's fair that Married at First Sight would put him with someone who's 50-50. We need to be all in about children because that's one of those things. Children, finances, fidelity, political views, all of those things are things that can cause havoc in a relationship if you don't communicate well, which we know that they don't. And they said it to Viviana when they said, we are more like, want to stay in the good space and not deal with the issues that are going to cause havoc or chaos or ruckus. You got to know how to do that in a way that your partner hears. The other C, communicate, is very important. Let's get it out the way. I've only known you 3 weeks, so I'm going to put everything on the table. When I say everything, I mean everything is going to go on the table. And you're going to take me as I am or you're not. Because when you love me, you love all of me, good, bad, and indifferent. Oh, did I say? Let me say that he said he didn't want to wait till he was 40. Like, he don't want to be that old. And she wants to wait because she's 26. He also probably needs to think about getting someone a little older that's ready for children and for sure this is what I want. But, you know, a little later, Virginia says, you know what, I took into account what Dr. Viviana said. Here's a stopwatch. Let's be vulnerable for 5 minutes straight. I use this tactic in my wife coaching all the time. I call it the vault. And in the vault, you get to talk about whatever you want. One person gets to talk about whatever you want. You set a time frame. When we finish, the vault closes and you cannot hold that against the person. I can talk about anything under the sun, even the things that are hurtful, but I cannot hold it against you once that timer goes off. That's free for y'all that's in relationships. Go ahead and hold it. You can keep it. I gave that to you, a little nugget. So anyway, during that time frame, Eric talks about his cheating issue. This is why he's so insecure and why he feels like she shouldn't have friends, male friends, right? Every relationship he has been in, they have cheated on him. He said everyone. He hasn't done the cheating, but they have done the cheating. And you probably want to take a look at what's happening that would cause, because you have to take some accountability of what's happening and why these people are cheating. Now, even though it's all on them. There's something that you're doing. If everybody, and I think the thing is that you're gone. Most of the people want quality time. Most of the people want you to be around. Most people don't want you to be so damn controlling. All of those things are important and could be the reason that people are stepping out. I'm not condoning it. I prefer you be open and have ethical, non-monogamous relationships than you to lie and cheat. Period. This is where he talked about, it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust everyone else. I'm the person you need to concern yourself with. And allow me, trust me enough in this relationship to know that we are in this together, and I'm going to make that I value you, and I'm going to make sound decisions that are not going to ruin our relationship. That's just what it is. If you feel that way about it, then we shouldn't be together if you think that I'm going to step out on you, because I'm the one you should be concerned with. This is also where she shares with us why she's afraid to have children. It's because of the relationships that she saw with her parents, and how she was like a pawn, and how she was uncomfortable, and how she stopped talking to her dad because he would continuously talk about her mother. Like, those are concerns, and this is where he tried to reassure her, but now he understands and needs to know, look, I need to show her that I'm not her dad. Even though she said earlier that his views kind of remind her of her dad. So, but this is his opportunity to start reassuring her that this is not going to be the same. I'm not your father, you're not your mother, and we are going to do this in a different manner. This is that opportunity. He needs to seize the day here. Carpe diem. Well, a little later, Virginia gets all sexy, makes the room, I guess it's supposed to be romantic, with some little fruit and stuff and chocolate, and sits down and they have a conversation. And the gist of the conversation was, you know, about as time goes on, how you're going to be attracted to me. And he says, let's keep things fresh and exciting. That's all we need to do. You know, and when you aren't attracted to me, or you feel a certain way, that you'll start vocalizing it, and I'll just make adjustments and changes. And she says, it's unrealistic for me to think that you are going to be as smitten as you are with me now forever. Right now I'm young and hot and cute to him, but you know, in 10-20 years I'm not going to be that, and so I have to be realistic. I don't think that we give Virginia enough credit. She might be a drunk, and if she would just stop drinking and really focus, she says a lot of things that are important, like that realism. Like, I don't think that it's skepticism. I think that it's just, listen, this is the reality of what our relationship could be. Anyway, let's keep going and let's talk about Brianna and Vincent. They get to see Viviana. They're excited. The first question that Viviana asks is, how do you show each other that you like? How do you show that you like one another? And Vincent starts to talk, you know, I can be myself, you know, we can be silly together and not get upset. And she said, hold up, swole up, because what we saw was not that. And then we revisit the whole Champagne Vinny situation. Viviana says exactly what I said, that he should have asked, what do you mean by that? And as much as y'all want to be on Brianna's head about it, and yes, she does have things that she needs to work on, but I see her working on them. I see her adjusting her behavior for him and being mindful of how things that she say may affect him. And she said, it was in jest, I didn't mean anything by it. And Viviana said, what? You need to ask clarifying questions. What is it that you mean by that? I mean, I said that. Did I not say that? I said that. I said it. It's the truth. Because if I tell you that that's not what I meant, then, you know, or I meant, it was meant to be funny, then you won't be offended. Or maybe you would, and you could say at that point, oh, I took it this way, and I have the opportunity to apologize. However, he also said that he notices that Bree is starting to tiptoe around him, being careful with his words, and that's something that he doesn't want, because, you know what, I'm not that sensitive. The devil is a lie. You are that sensitive, Vince. You are. That's how come you were offended by the silly comment, and you were offended with salsa, which brings us right into salsa. He said, she asked, Dr. Viviana then said, so tell me what happened at salsa then. If that's the case, if you're not sensitive, it's pretty much how it really kind of wrapped itself up. If you're not sensitive, then what happened at salsa? Okay, because what we saw was very sensitive. And so Viviana just broke it down. Listen, I know you want to be suave and you want to be perfect for your wife, but you need to be 100% authentically yourself. This is me, of course, paraphrasing, adding some shit in, right? And when I say 100% authentically yourself, because as you're pretending to be suave and perfect all this time, when that facade starts to fall down and your real self shows up, Brianna may not like who you have been showing her. The pretend you, the perfect you. It's not realistic. I like that he apologized for his behavior, right? That's great. Thank you for the apology. But for me, because now this is more than one time, that apology has to now start showing some action. So I don't want to see him getting so upset and not expressing himself as to why, and making it uncomfortable and awkward and making us feel like there's some domestic violence on the horizon, right? I need him to show by his actions. Thank you for the verbal apology. Now show me in your actions that you really are working on this. And the way you can do that is to be more vocal and be more vulnerable. I am your wife. This is a safe space. I like all of the quirky stuff about you, is what she said. So she essentially told him, I like those things about you. So do that. Be that. And he seemed to be receptive and was very glad and gracious about it. So then we see them have like some little private time. He makes like a romantic little fort in the living room for Brianna, and they have like a little question game. You know, it was silly. You know, it was like a truth or dare, and if you get it right, or questions, if you get it right, you get to get fed. You get some cheese and some food. I'm gonna skip all of that because none of that was really, it was just cute, right? Y'all might have been grossed out by her having him dig in her nose. But that's the thing. Listen, you get into a marriage and some shit really go down. You can't be too squirmish. Take it from me. Husband was sick. I was a caretaker, okay? Like, I was the nurse when the nurse wasn't around. So imagine that. Can't be too squeamish. Once you love somebody, you love them. All right. Let's get a little more exhausted. Y'all heard the deep breath. Who are we talking about? None other than Chris and Paige. So we see Paige and she says, listen, ain't nothing changed since we had a reset. Hello, my name is Paige. Hello, my name is Gullible. Since our reset, there has been no change. There has been no communication, nothing. Well, what she thought? I don't know. I really don't know what she thought was going to happen. I don't know. He's just going to keep toying with her. Nevertheless, she says Dr. Viviana is coming over, and I'm hoping that she can help us, you know, restart this friendship, rekindle this friendship, start a new, renew, reset, whatever. And it's my hope. And I hope that, what's his face, Chris shows up, and he does. You know, they compliment each other and give an awkward one-arm hug and shit. You know how that go. Let me see. We see him in his professional cam, and it says he has no expectations, right? But I'm gonna put a pause on the divorce talk for now. You know, expectations. The one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, you should have expectations. Always have expectations. Don't go into something say I'm not expecting something, because not expecting something is an expectation. Just so y'all know, expect something. If I say I'm not expecting nothing, that means I don't want nothing to come out of this. If I tell you that I'm hoping for us to rekindle a friendship or to start anew, that is an expectation. Just so y'all know. So I don't want y'all out here talking about I'm not expecting nothing. You just going with the flow and letting whatever happen. Yeah, the devil is a lie. That's not what we're doing, Ray of Sunshines. It is not. So Dr. Viviana arrives, and you know, she's hoping to see, I don't know, improvement, help, hope. I don't know what the hell. When she addresses Chris, she says, you know, Chris, I don't know you. I don't know this person in front of me. This is not who you were when we met you during the interview process. He goes on to say that, yeah, you met pre-wedding Chris. That is who I was when you met me. Pre-wedding Chris. Very, I guess, optimistic, hopeful. I don't know, kind. I don't know. He's an actor. Okay? He's faking. And the after wedding Chris is more, with all the things that have happened, is now a little bit depressed. Okay. Okay, listen. Mental health. is a big thing. I could see him being depressed about what's happening, right? I can totally see it. I don't discount any of that. But what I am going to say is your depression onset shouldn't have been till after you found out she was 6 weeks pregnant, per what you were saying. So anything prior to that was Chris. The I'm not attracted to you was Chris. The oh shit at the walking down the aisle was Chris. All of that was who you are. I don't know, I'm just saying. But mental health is a real thing, and I could see it being a damper on things if he was genuine about being married at first sight, which some of us have come to the conclusion that it was a lie. He was disingenuine. Anyway, so let's keep going. She asks Paige, why stay in the marriage? And she gives us her go-to answer about God, right? The woman God intended me to be was to be a supportive wife. And that can be true. But God does not want you to be a fool, to be foolish, to be in a situation to cause you hurt or harm. I know the Bible talks about divorce and not getting divorced, right? I know, but listen. We commit so many sins on a daily basis anyway, that is a drop in the bucket. Get a divorce. And be with the man that God intended you to be a supportive wife with. What do you want, Paige? Dr. Viviana says. What is it that you want? She says, I just want conversation. Some text messages, some FaceTime, some phone calls. And I just want them once a day. She looks at Chris and says, well, Chris, what do you want from Paige? This is too much pressure. Her asking me to call her every day and communicate with her every day is too much pressure. Is it now? Because Dr. Viviana finds it funny, like we do, that this is the least pressured situation. You guys have the option of not even being together at all. Least pressured. We really want her to walk away. All of this is me inferring, me adding some shit. We really want her to walk away because she's looking real stupid and she making us look bad on top of that. And you talking about pressure. Angel's all like, I'm all like, so you didn't need a reset. You could have just left things how they were. And occasionally pop in and give her a phone call and say you wanted to see her and talk to her, and kept going in the route that you were going. Because resetting and building a friendship looks different than what you're speaking of. Oh, Paige looks at Chris and says, well, what is it that you want? He has the nerve to say he wants to see her and spend time with her and date her and go out and eat and stuff in person. To me, that takes a lot more effort than just picking up the phone, seeing how your day was, talking to you for 15, 20 minutes. You know, and if the conversation is good, let it go longer. It just seems like a lot more. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. Paige then has the nerve to say, what are we doing? Dr. Viviana. Pretty much, to hell if I know. She pretty much just said, I don't know. Like, I don't know either. To hell if I know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Only you can answer that. So they come up with a schedule. So Paige sits down and she's like, let's come up with a schedule to see one another. What do your days look like? Okay, so they ended up landing on, because I can see you this day and this day, but not that day. Why don't I bring dinner and we have Bible study? Because in Chris's mind, that's the problem. We've left God out of this the entire time. Paige hasn't, honey. Paige has not left God. Paige said God is telling her to do all of this stuff. So maybe you left God out of the equation. Maybe that's you and what's happening. Maybe that's what you also did with Mercedes. I also feel like he is playing on her love for God. Like, let's have a Bible study. Because she's like, oh yeah, that's good. I feel like that's not fair. He's playing on that, you know. So he comes with the dinner. They sit down, they eat dinner. It's awkward. And then he says, so we were supposed to do Bible study, but I didn't have a chance to prepare anything. Ain't you the minister? Ain't you ordained as a minister? You should have something on the fly. You should have been able to drive in the car and pull a scripture from the sky and just read the scripture and discussed it like Paige did. She came up with Isaiah 55 and then there was a whole discussion. But the thing is, he was talking and it sounded like, oh, he has a little good sense, which I think that he does. He just doesn't like Paige, and he keeps just stringing her along and manipulating her for this money. But Paige was writing down her notes as if it was her pastor in front of her, giving her notes on the scripture. Okay, everything everybody says isn't to be written down. Does what he say right? Does what he is saying resonate with your spirit? Does it make sense? Are you in tune and active right now, Paige? Like right now, this is a marriage Bible study, so that means it's a topic of discussion, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Maybe she needed it so that she can remember what he said. Like, so she can go back on this day, at this time during dinner, this is what you said. I don't know. But I feel like it should have been more engaged. Now, she did contribute. I'm not saying she didn't contribute. She did contribute. Because she asked him, so what is this friendship? We need to define what friendship is and what does it look like. And he talks about it's a covenant between two people. It's a trust. It's an agreement to have trust. I'm all like, oh, okay. Yeah, that ain't what y'all got. That ain't what y'all got. And then she added a follow-up question is, where can we improve? And I like that she acknowledged that she kind of messed up. Like when you brought up that you had a baby on the way, I should have asked more questions. I should have been more engaged. I should not have had a hands-off approach because I was afraid to aggravate you. I'm glad that she understands the importance of having that conversation. But this is where it gets real touchy. Sticky. Real, what the fuck? Like, is we for real? You know, I got something I need to tell you. You know, some years back, Mercedes had an accident and she doesn't drive anymore. So I'm thinking that he gonna say, so I gotta take her to her appointments, you know, and maybe are you available to help out with this? That's what I thought that he was gonna say. But baby, that's not what he said. What he said was, I bought Mercedes a new Mercedes Benz. Not a used one, not a Honda, Toyota, Nissan, not a Subaru because they safe, not a Chevy because it was cheap. No, I bought her a brand new Benz. Mercedes has a Mercedes Benz because his royalty needs to ride around in style. First off, she ain't drove in all them years, so she gonna wreck it. Secondly, you talking about you need to tell her because she's your wife. If she was really your wife, that was the conversation that would have needed to be had prior to buying her a Mercedes, which I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about him getting her the Mercedes? Do you feel like that it was warranted or appropriate? I'm just asking. I mean, none of my baby daddies bought me a Mercedes. Bought me a car. Hell, they don't even pay for their kids. So, I'm just saying. I don't think that that's the norm. I don't think that that's something that's realistic. I don't think that that's something that most people would do. He's trying to keep them both. I'm appeasing her with this. At this point, he just wants to continue to torture her. Every time he sees her, there's some new news that he's providing. And this time is, I got my baby mama a brand new Benz. Okay? Okay, so let's talk Haley and Jacob. They pretty much, you know, Haley is out. Jacob is on his way out. Jacob wants to continue to try, but he's not. That's pretty much the whole gist of it. But let's talk about it anyway, right? We see them like briefly through the like snippets in the front of the show, and he asks her, how can we make sex? The question says, how can we make our sex life better? He said, well, when we have it, it'll be a little better. For me, that means that the first time was a flop. Again, we're back at that. The first time was a flop, and I can do better. I was just excited. Like, it's a thing. So Dr. Viviana shows up and asks what's the state of their marriage currently. And they're like, oh, we've reset. We are, you know, off to a good start. You know, after a few arguments, etc. And she asks, what are the arguments? And Jake revisits her staying out all night after the physical attraction conversation. We find out that she said, I was spending the night. I told you I was spending the night. And that's kind of touchy. Right? New marriage. Are you spending the night out as a newlywed? Hell, are you spending the night out at your girlfriend's house at all? Now, I know that I am. Right? I know that I am because of some of the things that we do. Like my tribe, we have sleepovers, you know, and they be at my house sometimes, that, you know, so it's a thing. Right now we're all single, so that's not an issue, but it could prove to be an issue where we might have to renegotiate that. My husband might not want me out at night, especially if he don't trust me yet. But my husband, am I gonna get married again? I used to say yes, so my boo maybe like, you spending the night out with your friends? He's not gonna say that because he's gonna trust me. Anyway, Viviana says, you know what, we need to work on the communication. Seems like you guys are talking two different languages. And that you are now in the non-romantic friend zone. Non-romantic friend zone. Did you ever feel connected? And Jake goes on to say, yes. 3 to 4 days into our marriage, I did. And was that before sex? I mean, for me, that's a huge clue. Everybody is saying the same thing, that it had to be the sex. Because she had sex with you, she was getting to know you, it had to be the sex. And honestly, Jacob knows that it was the sex too. There's no way that he doesn't. That's why he's asking all these questions about their intimacy level. I worked out this morning and my back hurts. He also went on to say that Haley had told him, you know, that's not my norm. I don't normally do that. That's not what I do. That's not who I am. You know, and she says, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. His feelings is already hurt, girl. So whatever you say now, it's just a drop in the bucket. Just add some more water to it. That's it. Tell him the truth. Oh, I didn't mention that she did start caring. I called her Karen. Start crying like y'all say Karens do, and being the victim. And saying, this is what she said, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I didn't know how to say certain things. And I normally connect well with people and very easily, but I am just not connecting to Jake at all. Dr. Viviana asked the same question that Jake asked. Are you physically attracted to him? Listen now, Dr. Viviana tells everybody, like, we keep up with you, though we're not here. We know what's going on. So she knew that the question was asked. So it's just, let's revisit it and be honest. Dr. Viviana was probably watching the clip like, oh yeah, watching these clips like, oh yeah, you don't like him. This was a mistake. Haley said, you know, when I walked down the aisle and I saw him for the first time, I was like, meh. Pretty much like, I was like, okay, I was 50-50. And then I figured that the attraction would happen as I got to know him more. And it just hasn't. He's got all these quirky things about him that I can't seem to get into. Goes on to say that they are lost, but she sees that they're both still wanting to be in this. And I don't see that, Dr. Viviana. Here we're gonna have to disagree. I don't think that they both want to be in it. I think that they're both on their way out the door. Dr. Viviana says, listen, we need to have y'all learn how to be alone. I didn't know that they were still sleeping in separate rooms. We have not seen any other bedroom scenes with them. They are in separate rooms, so they go into the bedroom so she could help them be acquainted to being alone, because anytime that they're in common area, guess what? So is production. So is the cameraman and the mic and all of that. So let's practice being alone. Because when the door closes, that's your alone time, and really how you can get to know somebody, right? She gave them homework, and their homework was to do good morning kisses, good night kisses, and maybe some hugs. Haley said, you know what, I'm up to it, but it's going to be a little uncomfortable. Honey, I don't think she was up to it at all, but hold on, because Dr. Viviana comes back, and she kind of checks her, and she says, yo, remember when the question, I had to go back to your questionnaire and look at an answer, and we asked you if you're picky, and you said you are picky and choosy, and you start to pick people apart, and then later on you go back to say, next time I'm going to give somebody a chance. Next time I'm going to do things differently. And so Dr. Viviana was saying, here's your next time. Stop picking him apart. Are you picking him apart? And she said, yeah, of course. I don't like him. I don't like his nose. He look like Popeye. I don't like his clothes. He dressed like he from the 80s. All he does is eat meat and steak and eggs. Like, It's a lot of things that I don't like. I'm trying to change it, you know, and I'm tired of doing all the work. Did I miss that? I don't know. I don't know if it was before or after this, but we're gonna say it right now. She said she was tired of doing all the work. I think it was before. That she tired of doing all the work and putting in all the effort. And I just want to know if we watching the same show. Maybe we missing some stuff because they're only showing us a little bit, because I don't see no work from Haley. I actually see more work from Jacob than I do Haley. Her going to the refrigerator, getting a beer, you don't want to sit and have a beer with me, and her buying the clothes as an olive branch doesn't mean that's work. I mean, it's some, I suppose, right? But I don't see her putting in a lot of work. And if I'm missing that, y'all let me know down below in the comments, because I'm okay with y'all telling me that I'm wrong, because y'all be doing that all up in the comments, disagreeing with me, and I'm here for it. So do it now if I'm missing something and that she is actually a willing participant in trying to make things work in this marriage. Well, they go to bed in the same bed, honey, and we know she ain't did her homework. He said, can I have a kiss? Can we spoon? Can we something? Nope, I'm not ready. Nope. You can forget it. Nope. She ain't with it. It's going to take a lot more than somebody telling her what to do. Okay, so let's talk about Ryan and Clara. When we see them, they have a fishbowl full of questions. First question is, I don't know. I think I have written, what is a thing that will make it hard to be intimate? And he says, not taking things slow. And she says, it's too slow. I think that was the question. I don't understand my chicken scratch. The second question was, how would you like me to initiate romance? Clara is so sexually frustrated that she's all like, just do it. Just do it. The third question was, how can we make our sex life better? Clara says, have it. Let's have it. Ryan is like, with trust and commitment, it would make our sex life better, right? Question 4 was, what is your favorite sexual position? He says he'll take it anyway, but ultimately ends up saying he wants it plain vanilla missionary. The last question was, what was your toughest experience and why? And so here's where we find out why sex is so important to Clara. Because she says she was unhappy in her previous relationship, that they were not sexually intimate but 3 times a year, and that he wasn't attracted to her, pretty much is how she felt. And so I understand like her concerns, like, is he not attracted to me? But we know you're doing other things, so yeah, he's still attracted to you, just not doing the things that you want. But we learn just a tad bit more, right? Dr. Viviana comes to visit. She asked him, you know, what's going awesome in your marriage? And everything just feels very natural. If we had met out in public, it would have been natural. It just feels right, right? That's what they say. But Clara says, listen, we aren't on the same page. We're on the same page about most things except sex. We're not on the same page about sex. He wants to wait. He's going hella slow, and I'm ready to get it now. Give it to me now. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. So Ryan says, you know, it's important, I feel like, that we build a foundation, that there's commitment, that there's trust, that we take things slow. Dr. Viviana says, okay, that's great, but how are you addressing her needs and what she wants? Because it does seem a little one-sided, right? I want to take it slow, but she wants to go fast. She wants to go fast. She wants to go fast. When things get hot and heavy, who stops it? What happens? He puts a halt on it, like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Look who's at the front door. Like, you cannot come in. I don't want to have sex with you. And goes back to, I feel like it's important for the foundation, the connection, the trust. And I feel like sex is just a band-aid. Now, I'm going to have to be honest with y'all. I can agree with that to a certain degree. Have you ever had sex with somebody too soon and the relationship goes south, or you guys don't know each other really well and you have sex? Right? Because the sex is what bonds you back together. It's the thing that you enjoy with one another, but the relationship is trash. So I understand where he's coming from. I really do. And I do want to say, if the roles were reversed and it was Clara was Ryan and Ryan was Clara, we would be talking about Ryan is acting like a sexual predator. We would be talking about Ryan needs to calm down. It's only been 3 weeks. And so that's how I feel. I feel like white people in general are more into casual sex. right? I said what I said, and I meant it. It's more easy. It does not hold the same value that it does as it does, let's say, the black community. And that's changing. I don't have anything wrong with it. There's been times, you know, there's been times that I had sex with no attachment. But that's not the norm, right? That is not the norm for us in the black community. We've been taught that, you know, probably part of the belief system that it's sacred. And it probably has a lot to do also that it was taken from us a lot, especially for women and men. They got it taken. Them women wanted that mandingo, sexualizing us like that. And I think that that has a lot to do with it too. I'm not going to just give it up easily because it was taken from me. I think all of that plays a part into why we aren't so casually having sex in that manner, that it has to mean something sometimes, specifically for women. But like I said, that's changing. Sometimes I'm a savage. Dr. Viviana says, okay, so give us a percentage. Like, how long is this going to take? What do we need to do? And he's like, I can't. I feel pressured. He sounds like he's taking a page out of Chris's book. Can't give you a percentage. It's just going to happen. Well, how are you going to know that it's going to happen? When do you think that there's going to be this connection? He can't get no answer, though. He can't get no answer. He probably going to wait till after the 8 weeks is up, to be honest, to make sure that they both say yes. But listen, I'm with Clara. I got to drive the car. It's important that I drive the car. Okay? I ain't saying that I'm always giving it up on the first night, but I got to drive the car because this car is going to be with me for a while. Does the check engine light come on? Do we need to put more gas in the car? Like, this car is going to be with me. I need to check the engine. Okay? Yeah, I'm crazy, y'all. Viviana says, you know what, let me sit with Clara alone. Let me have this conversation with her alone, because maybe she's going to open up more about this sexual situation than she would when in front of Ryan. So she comes out and she says, listen, we're doing everything else except for intercourse. We're having sex already. I don't understand why we can't cross that line. She said, you know what, I understand that he's very religious, and maybe that connects the reason why he does not want to have intercourse, but you are having all the other courses, the appetizers and shit and dessert. You ain't getting the main meal yet, but you're doing the other stuff, you know. And she said, I'm not religious. Viviana says, you know, oh, they should, you know, they say, you know, that maybe Ryan puts it on the pedestal because of his religious beliefs, where she doesn't. Like, sex has no emotional connection. Viviana goes and asks the question that all you guys want to know. Do you think that it's possible that Ryan is a virgin? Do you think that he lied? And she said, you know what? He's been very upfront and truthful about all the other things. I don't think that he's lying. I believe that he has had sex previously. Maybe he's just inexperienced. That could be a thing. Or maybe it is just he has his morals, values, belief system is not allowing him to cross that line until he can trust that you're going to be here, right? I don't know. Y'all let me know down below in the comments, because I know y'all feel like that's weird. I mean, it could be because most men, when you throw it at it, most men, when you throw it at them, they are going to catch it. Not all, but most, okay? And if you keep throwing it, eventually they're going to cave. Clara shares that she has never had a sexual relationship where it was emotional, where there was a connection. Sex is just sex. And I kind of felt for her for a little bit, because it does elevate when you have an emotional bond with somebody. Sex does seem to elevate. I mean, wouldn't you agree? I mean, I think so. For me, it has. In my experience, casual sex is different than sex with someone who you are connected with, have chemistry with, have an emotional bond with, that you care for. It comes with a different type of passion and a different type of connection. And for me, like I said, sex is 80% mental. Y'all think that that's too high, whatever number it is, but I'm going to tell you that for me, it is more mental than physical. So once I'm connected to you, the physical just automatically happens and feels better, even if it's not really great sex. I wrote down, it's also the reason that she is so wanting to do it, because there's no emotional connection involved, right? You know, for her, is let's just do it. Let's just do it. But I really think that that's a lie, right? You got to feel some kind of way if when you were with your partner, you only had three You only had sex 3 times in a year. You got to feel some kind of way. And you might be attaching your confidence, your beauty, your prowess to the way that you perform sexual acts. It's just a thing that I thought about. Not saying that that's her case, but it is something that we need to consider. So that ends the episode. Thank God. Y'all don't know how much energy it takes for me to watch this stuff now. Specifically, I'm thinking about because of Chris and Paige. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about this week's episode. I'm going to try and get back to being on time and having it up on Thursdays so that when Friday comes along, we can have our Friday lives, which I think I might still try and have if I can get this up. So if you see it live, that means I got this up in time. Let's see. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight Season 12, Episode number 10. If it's your first time visiting my channel, definitely click the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. You also want to click the notification bell to be alerted of videos when I upload them, and that is the all button, the all button. Last but not least, share this video with your friends and family so they can come in and have this conversation with us. Like this video so the algorithms know that I'm what's up, what's up, what's up. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.